On today's recording, we'll be taking a look at our new Agentic AI functionalities. We'll create an AI workflow calling one or many AI agent. We'll have the following business requirement we're trying to resolve. So here I'm under my work orders, and you see I have a list of work orders, and we are trying to onboard store clerk in our application. And what the store clerk will be doing is they'll navigate to a work order. Say this broken windshield, work order 54. And we'll want them to consume items. Now, of course, out of the box, the system does that. It needs to be done within a report maintenance form, and then they'll need to navigate here. They'll need to leave some notes, go under usage, and from there they can document the item. Okay, so it just works great. But it's really tailored for a technician experience. We could customize the interface, trim everything down, but it takes a while. With Agentic AI, we can kind of bypass that, and using low code, we can create a button here, okay, that will be a consume item button, which will enhance the experience for, in our case, our store clerk. To get started, okay, we need to create a workflow. I'll hit create. I'll give it a name, consume items. Go under description, we'll pick the same. We'll click next. And here we have a whiteboard. I'll just put this in full screen. And here we see our starting point will really be what's the trigger of our workflow. Okay, if you're familiar with Power Automate, this will ring a bell. But here are the different types of triggers we have. I might do another webinar on each of these, but for now we'll just pick the form. Okay, so whenever a user fills out a form, this will trigger our AI workflow. We'll say that the name is the same thing. We'll go advanced config. We'll go under card. And we'll say here that we want this form to be on the work order page. And the button label will be called consume items. I do have a form, but I'll create one from scratch for you guys. We'll call it consume items and then number 2. I already have one. And then we'll go under schema. Here we'll put a table because I know that we can consume, more than one item per work order. Then we'll go under data, field number 1, we'll have item number, we'll put that required. Field number 2, we'll put actual quantity. We'll put location code as well. We'll save changes. Now I can help my user. I don't expect him to know, exactly. Whoop, I just made a quick mistake. This one is not an input. This one will put lookup model, so that it looks the item table. Actual quantity, will leave it like that, and then location will put drop down. So I need to define what's my model behind my item number, and then we'll say that it's the item table. And then we'll go and we'll say that this is the item number that we'll fill in there. Okay. There might be a lot of information right now, but it will all make sense when I open up the form. You'll recognize all of these components. We need to do the same with location. So our dropdown will point to the location table, and then we'll want the code in there. Save that, we'll create form. We'll apply it over here, consume item number 2, and we'll save. Now, let's just make sure that our form worked as expected. So if I go under my work order page, I go my work order 54. Again, you see now I have a consume item button. And I have my form with location, item, actual quantity, location east, item. We'll do we have a windshield in here? We do. And a quantity of 1. Of course, when I do that, not much happens. Okay? Why? Because we haven't configured our AI agents. So what we'll do right now, we'll go under workflow. We'll go under consume items, and we will edit. Go back to full screen. So here we have our form trigger, and here we'll click generate text using our AI core nodes. So going in here, we'll say that you are an item consumer 2000. All you will really do for now will be consuming items. What's really good about this is it's very specific in the terms of the scope of what this AI agent can do. So it's going to be very reliable. It won't really start to hallucinate or try to do something else. It will really consume items. I can choose about hundreds of AI models. You'll recognize all of the OpenAI one, GPT-5, GPT Mini. The one that, just from experience, the best at using our Mobi API and writing in Business Central has really been Claude, latest version. So we'll pick this one. We'll select this model. You see you have all the specification and pricing over here. Okay, and we'll click select this model. So really our workflows here, we're AI provider agnostic. You can choose which one fits best your requirement. We'll give him some functions. So we'll go in the crude operation and we'll allow this guy to create a new record and create related requirements, which is essentially item consumption against work order. And we'll need to give him a few constraints. You don't need to, but we found that the most accurate if you give the model as much context as possible. So here, document type, I know it's always going to be release header. Okay, this is where it's low code, but you kind of need to know the table structure a little bit. And here I have another field, source number. We'll say that this is the work order number. After a couple iteration, we'll start to understand all of this on its own, but we'll just give him a bit of kickstart. Source line, we'll say that the value should be 0. And then we'll add one last field here, number. And explain why this is important. This is the item number. We'll say save constraint. Okay. And now I'll fill in my form as the prompt. And we'll help this guy out. Okay. We'll give him a text input of essentially a system prompt. I happen to have one pre-made over here. But this is really what it is here. The system prompt, so we're giving a bit of context, some limitations, some instructions to our item consumer 2000 over here. So we'll just put this here. Of course, there's a bit of learning behind that. Okay, it's not the first time I'm building this this agent, of course, but really just starting from scratch, you test it out, and if you want it to behave in a certain way, you can add, and it's just it's plain text. So here we'll save this. And we'll go give it a shot. Exit full screen. I'll just update my workflow. We'll go on work order. There's our work order 54, broken windshield. We'll click consume items. We'll add a row. Say from east, item number, Fretliner, Cascadia, windshield, and a quantity of 2. We'll submit. This here, you see we have 3 steps or 3 nodes. Now our workflow completed the first 2, completed the third one, which was the generate text, the writing to Business Central. We'll close that. And ta-da! We have 2 item 1906, okay, windshield, essentially, consumed against this work order. All right, appreciate everyone's time. I just want to give you a bit of a snippet into what a very sophisticated AI workflow could look like. So if we look at this one here, same thing. I have a form trigger on the asset page. And this one, if we look at my text input, you're a maintenance management AI specialist tasked with generating best practice preventive maintenance. You see here, I'm being very explicit as of what I want them to do. Your output must be structured in this way, PM1, PM2, PM3, PM4. And here, this generates preventive maintenance, which is essentially a multi-table concept. We have a header, and then we have lines. This is what it's doing here. Okay, it's going to go into ChatGPT. It's going to create, a preventive maintenance. Let's say change oil every 6 months, let's say, and it's going to give a step on how to do that. First, turn off the car, open up the hood, take the temperature, and it's doing that. And here in parallel 4 times. So it's creating us a whole maintenance strategy. There's lots of lots of prompts, but It's really the only way that you'll achieve value for very specialized users, such as a maintenance planner or reliability specialist, is by having AI workflows that can punch their weight, that can be configured with such constraints, that can browse the web, that can write back to Business Central, browse maintenance manuals, and ultimately it looks like this one. I might do a bigger video on how to build this beast. It's going to be a longer one, or maybe it's going to be a webinar, but just wanted to give you guys a bit of a sneak peek.